There's stuff that we talked about tonight. I'm gonna be like, damn, dude, Adam's onto something here. Now my train of thought's gonna go somewhere else.
Right.
So I mean,
Oh, it's a
but
deep
that's
rabbit hole, and I appreciate the way you think too, because we could go down rabbit holes left and right. If we're
okay.
talking about good stuff, it's deep. It's deep.
It is. One rabbit hole I always talk about is we talk about spirits, dimensions, and I always say I brought the ghost investigators. Like, what is heaven and hell? We always say heaven's above, hell's below. That's what we were taught. What if
Right.
what we're seeing is actually heaven?
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
like I try to take it from religious. I try to look in all perspectives.
right?
So I try to look from a religious perspective of like, okay, if these religions are correct and real, what are we dealing with the paranormal realm? Is that purgatory? From like a Catholic perspective, we had purgatory, where you're kind of like in a waiting before the second coming of Christ. So are all spirits stuck in purgatory until the second coming? So we're actually talking about that, because when you ask spirits, is there a God? Is heaven real? I don't think a majority of the time you get answers on that. It kind of like kills the vibe with it. And I've had some answers, like, some will say, is heaven real? Yes. Are you there? No. It's like, that's interesting. Then what's going on here? It, I
All
don't
right,
know. They are very deep questions.
let me throw this out there then. So there's a heaven and hell. When you pass and you believe in an afterlife, you go to heaven or you go to hell. What if you have no belief in afterlife?
Maybe that could be the ones. Well, that's interesting, because then are these the ones that are stuck behind? Like, maybe it's almost like your belief system becomes reality. Like,
Right.
if you believed in heaven, whatever is beyond this, that would get into simulation theory. But it's interesting. One of the topics was, I don't even think I covered this. This is one of yours that you wrote in your paragraph. Where do we go after we die? And that's a fascinating question. That's the $1 million question, besides capturing good footage. I am a believer in reincarnation. That could change tomorrow. The more I think on things, it's just that we are energy at the end of the day, and energy, the law of conservation, or not conservation, whatever. My mind's fading on that. Their energy drink. Energy is going to transfer according to the law of physics on that, right? So we're an energy, we're going to pass on. And maybe it's a question of like where that energy goes. Some say we're like a drop of energy that goes into a giant ocean of energy, right? It sounds a little depressing, but maybe it's not. It's like, if I have a chance to reincarnate, I would love to come back. I'm enjoying this realm. Whatever this is, I'm having a good time.
Right.
Maybe I've been here a bunch of times, but here's the other thing that's kind of alarming, that's a little disturbing, a little depressing, is that, I don't think it's a one-for-one trade-off. It's not like, hey, Ryan, you could reincarnate and hopefully you could remember that you were Ryan. It's more of like maybe energy splits. Like, you and I could have been the same person in a past life, because the energy splits, because if there's only so much of a consciousness that spreads in this intelligence, this energy, it can't be a one-to-one trade-off. It can't be like, okay, because if you have two kids, and you have a grandfather and a grandmother that want to come back, and let's say you have a boy and a girl, and they all of a sudden, they jump into those avatars because they're available. But let's say you have 5 kids, right? Like, where does this consciousness keep coming from? And it's maybe a split off of energy. So it's like a lot of different past lives. It's like, why does every female gas station attendant think they were Cleopatra in a past life? It's like, what's happening in this one, dude? Holy shit. Not so good this round. Not so good. But back then you did great. A lot of people thought they were Cleopatra. A lot of people thought they were like something great. I was Alexander the Great. So shut the fuck up, dude. Maybe you're like 1/1000th of a percent of energy of that, maybe, if you even think that. It's just interesting. So I do believe there's something. Now, here's another rabbit hole, though. Now with the disclosure of aliens, what's that energy? You ever heard of this phenomena where children are talking about like their Star Trek and they want to go home? You ever hear these cases where children are like in their own house and they're like, I want to go home. And they're like, honey, we're home right now. I've heard of a lot of cases of children doing this and saying this. And it's like, are they foreign energy? Is that alien energy that Energy can shoot anywhere in the universe. And again, I'm trying to make this happy, but it does not make me happy as a topic. It's like,
No, I mean,
are some humans alien in a sense? Like, our energy signatures alien? Like, yes, your DNA is human, but
right.
your energy signature is alien. So that's why this world feels weird to you. And then when you pass away, you could be shot somewhere else. You could be on Alpha Centauri, if there's a civilization there. You could be one of the Nordics. You could be reptilian. Man, I can even feel the pulsating in my head from the headache because I'm trying to grasp that. It was easier when the disclosure wasn't there and we speculated on aliens, but now the disclosure's here. Even if that's real, and if this is fake, and this is the biggest government cover-up of saying aliens are real, like, you really put cards down on the table. Dude. But then again, us millennials are just desensitized because we've seen so much shit. We're like, oh yeah, aliens are real. We still got to pay bills. We still got to do that.
Yeah.
Are we like part of the Galactic Federation now?
But I mean, the one thing about the government, I'm not going to get political though, but they'll come out with something to divert from something else. They do it
100%. It's all a diversion all the time. But anything you do, like, people do this all the time. But here's the thing: it works mostly.
Yeah.
Most of them it'll work is because if you look at people's attention spans, and maybe this is a psyop of like how often we are fed. Like, they say people's attention spans are like what? You got 3 seconds and they're scrolling if they're not interested. Like, thank God, if anyone stayed for this live, like, you have beat 99% of the population because guess what? You're able to focus. You're able to focus and listen to information. And hopefully maybe even 100 years from now, the attention spans are back because there were a lot of interesting things talked about. But in the year of 2026, we may have lost you within 6 seconds. But think about that, of how quickly people get over stuff. You hear information, you hear these crazy things happening about people, and then like a year later, we all forget about it. We just move about our business. That's why I always tell people, just do what you're going to do. People are not like, Ryan, I remember that thing you did 18 years ago, and I think about it every day. No one gives a shit, dude. No. You got a free slate again because people's memories are like goldfish, you know?
I mean, you get it all the time, though. It's like, what was your name again? Like, you meet people all the time. You don't remember them.
Yeah.
I had someone post.
But I remember Grant Wilson. He's a piece of shit. Never going to forget you, Grant. Anyway, moving on. Yes. Names, that's also like, it's so funny. We make eye contact when we meet people and we just forget names.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But I don't forget faces. Names are tough sometimes.
Right.
So, yeah.
But man, I put out, when did you see your first full body apparition? It was just something on Facebook. And someone goes, when I was 1. I'm like, really? When you were 1 year, you remember that when you were 1. You probably don't even remember what you had for dinner last week. And you're going to tell me when you're 1, you saw full body apparition.
Someone say that?
Yeah. In the comment. Yeah. I couldn't comment back.
I don't think
6 or 7 I could see.
I've heard of people saying they remember being babies, but I'm like, do you, or is that you're imagining a POV because you know what it would be like?
Right.
I don't know. Everyone's brain's different. I'm not going to crucify it. I'm just going to be, if that's real, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. Yeah. Because for me, I don't remember. It was like when your brain is becoming aware and the consciousness becomes, it's almost like we're on autopilot up until like a certain age. And all of a sudden it's like, we're here. We're like, oh God, where am I? What is this place? It's like the consciousness kicks in. And I remember fragmented memories. And it's like when people get drunk. I haven't drank in 14 years, but I remember what it's like when you're blacking out and it's like, oh shit, I'm not going to remember this tomorrow. But in the moment you do, in the moment you know what's going on, but you're like, yeah, my memories, it's not recording it's like having a camera that's turned on. It's not recording. And I would remember that a lot. Remember that I said that to myself a lot, to enough where I remember that I would always say that. But it's like when you're younger, I remember flashes of memories, but not the full, like, I don't know what I was thinking that day. And we're talking like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. And then all of a sudden the memory starts like the SATA drive starts constantly recording for the best of what it can do. because I'm with you. Can I remember what I ate last week? No, dude. No, I can't.
No,
But I'm alive and I ate. So
that's all that matters.
yeah.
I mean, so we beat Madison up pretty good. Fairfield, I've been there. Didn't have much activity there, but it seems like the women have a lot of activity at Fairfield.
Yeah. It's like with teams. I've had teams say they've had no activity, and other teams are like, it was like a portal to hell. Paranormal's like fishing. What I will say, though, is comparing the two, Fairfield has more of an ick feel to it because it was built for the impoverished. It's 196 years old, dates back to 1828. Many structures were added on. Then you had like the main structure, the wings added. It is Fairfield County's infirmary. Like every county had one that wasn't, if they weren't knocked down, every county had an infirmary, a poorhouse. Very historical, so it's very important to protect it. It is a whiny baby. It requires a lot of money. People are like, Adam, you would think you'd be driving a Bugatti by now with the amount of money the paranormal can make. Like, yeah, it generates a lot of money, but these buildings, like, I just put a new roof on, man, that eats money. Like,
Right.
that building was left by the land bank and left to die. It was just they projected $26 million to fix it. I'm like, oh, okay, hang on now. We're not going to make it state of the art again. We're going to fix the bones, though. Yeah. And it has been an uphill battle. Madison is built very well. That's a fortress. Very good roof. Very good bones. Fairfield's roof, not so good. No. 3 layers of shingles with a metal roof under it. Son of a bitch, dude. Like, so yeah, that was painful, but we got through it. And again, to the community at large, like a lot of this is used through the Paracons and fundraising it. And I'm always transparent about the money. It's like, if we're going to do this event, people can trust. If I say we're going to do this and this is where the money's going, it goes towards that. We've at Madison, we've raised $76,000 for cystic fibrosis. That's been 9 years. This is going to be 9 years going up on that. At Fairfield, we've raised, I don't know, 20,000. When we started, before that, we shared causes. But Fairfield was very desperate, so I put the money towards that. And that's what it takes, the paranormal at large doing that. And I look at it the same way. Like, I want to protect this. I love these places. And think about it. If we lose them, we lose a little bit of ourselves. Think of like, if Madison falls, all those memories you had there, you can never walk in there again to experience it because a little part of you and a little part of everybody else is in there. And even protecting those who came before us, it's rough, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you always stay true to your word. You love these places. You want to keep up with them. And I've known that from when you first bought the place. You said, I just want to keep these places upright. And that was your main,
so we can all enjoy your main
goal. And you've done that. And I'm a big believer in a history part of it, especially like Fairfield, a poorhouse. I always thought poorhouse, great idea. But money got involved and greed got involved.
Oh, yeah.
Same with the prisons. You're talking, this is supposed to house 200 people, but in its heyday, it was 1,400 people because the state paid you per head. So they just jammed a whole bunch of people. So for 100%. us not to go back to that, we have to have these places to remember what it was like. So like you're keeping history alive, but you're also keeping a future what it's supposed to be.
It is like, it's an immortality project. I want the community to understand that there is a bigger mission. I've always been obsessed with immortality. Like I believe in time travel, and just disclaimer, I believe time travel has been proven to some degree to be real. But anyway, that's a side quest. Immortality. I would love to live forever. Again, that comes with its problems too, because I would love to stay young and live forever. But the Immortality Project, you got to think when we're protecting these buildings, we're leaving a legacy behind. And in a sense, it is immortality. All the people involved. You got to think, even anyone investigates and you leave a carbon footprint of an investigation, people are going to look back and research and be like, whoa, wild times between, like early 2000s to like 2048. These people are out here ghost hunting the place. And ghost hunting, I don't think is going to go away. There's always going to be a phenomena. I don't know if we'll ever fully understand it. And even if we do fully understand it, are they going to stop trying to communicate with it? I think it just makes the interactions even more interesting.
Right.
But they are going to look back at all our footnotes. They're going to review. Again, we're already ghosts. to some people right now, we no longer exist. The year is 2122, almost 100 years. So, God, you get what I'm saying. And it will come inevitably. It marches forward, and it's 100 years from now. And someone's watching this. Our relic is still here. It's the immortality. It's kind of like, you ever heard of the three deaths in Mexican culture? It's very deep, and it's always bothered me for a long time. And it's just a part of their belief system that you can die 3 times. And when I heard that, I was like, what? But basically, I don't know if it was called the 3 deaths of Mexicans. This is the concept that when you are born, I believe they say that it's your first death because you are ejected from the Garden of Eden. Don't quote me on that, but that's your first death.
Okay.
Your second death is the last time you take a breath in this world. So you're on a hospital bed, you're in a car accident, however it goes down. Hopefully it is a very good one where you can be surrounded by your loved ones. You take that last breath, you have a very large family, you got a bloodline that can take on the legacy, the genetics. You take your last breath. That would technically be your second death. Your third death, and this is where I was like honing in. I was like, wow. Third death is the last time someone physically says your name or thinks about you in this world. And that hit me hard because for countless people, I had 2 kids that are 2 fellow classmates that passed away from drug overdose in my school. I think about them from time to time, and I'll physically say their name aloud because it's like summoning them back. It's keeping the memory of them alive. And you got to think we're doing that to ghosts. Every time we say Elizabeth Stiles' name, every time we say whoever, you are keeping the memory alive because there will come a day where no one says it anymore. Therefore, all of your existence is gone. But this is a carbon footprint too that eliminates that third death.
Right.
But it's interesting, man. That's the kind of stuff I think about. I think the longer, when you're in the business of mortality and death, it starts to bother you because it's still fun, but there's an expiration to it. We're all going to end eventually. So
That's right. I mean, I always, people always ask, why do you paranormal investigate? It's not to find the answers to the afterlife. It's not that, whatever. I want to keep memories alive of these people that have passed. That's my biggest thing. And, you can't be scared to die,
right.
And I think a lot of people are scared to die, but I don't think that's the main thing. I think their main thing is being scared of being forgotten.
Forgotten and missing everybody, because I think that's my biggest thing. Like, I'm not afraid to die. I don't want to die. Let me put it that way. It's not on my agenda.
No.
But I don't want to lose everyone, and you don't want to be forgotten. What was the point of all of this?
Right.
And I don't think it is the end. I think this is whatever we are experiencing is too advanced for that. There is something after. But again, this comes back to telling people to take that risk, do something, go big. Go big, because in 100 years from now, we're gone. And it's not even really good. It will matter. If you played hard enough, it will matter. But just go hard, man. The ticker's moving. So,
right. I mean, that's why I created this mug too. It's my Trap Souls mug. It says never forget.
I like that.
I wrote a little blog. Some people know about it on my website, and I didn't mean to write it. Just started writing. My way my head works. I cried a lot during that blog. It was about my grandfather, and I named that one I will never forget, and that's one of the reasons why I do this. And I just want the memories alive. And
right.
one of my theories was maybe these spirits are sticking around here because their memories are not right. Maybe their stories aren't straight.
Oh, that's very cool. Or you want to stay with bloodlines. Your grandfather is staying with because perhaps it is prolonging going elsewhere.
Right.
If you reincarnate, you're not going to find your family. Maybe if you're lucky, but your kids would have to have kids, and there's got to be an available vessel. I know I keep saying that, but it's like
No.
Yeah, you could probably reincarnate. A lot of bodies available, a lot of bodies, babies being born, but it's like randomized. It's like
Right.
you're gonna come back. You're not gonna remember anything, but you're getting to live again. Or you can stay on the other side and follow your loved ones and follow that bloodline. Your grandfather gets to follow you, follow kids and stuff like that. And I could see that because I would, as much as I want to come back, if I can't stay within my bloodline, I don't know if I would probably wait till the opportunity, because then it's just randomized. Why work so hard in this life just to start over again in another? You know, that's the deep stuff. I know
Yeah.
that, and I'm with you, dude. How deep and very emotional it gets, because I don't know how often people think about that stuff, you know, but it's deep and
Right.
it's real. And I think what you're doing for your grandfather is a great thing. I had a great close relationship with my grandfather too, and what I would give to just have, well, if we can pick time, I would pick a lot of time to have him back. There's like, if I had 5 minutes, like, no, we need more than that.
Right.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. People are like, well, you can, I talk to my grandfather all the time. You know, he's been gone since 95. I still talk to him. Is
No
it,
shit. That's about the time I lost my grandpa too. 95,
yeah, I mean,
96, I think is in that ballpark. Yeah.
is he talking to me or I just know what he would say? It doesn't really matter to me. I'm still having that conversation. When I'm stuck, I need a little pick me up. Hey, dude, Papa, what's up, dude? Like, help
Yeah.
me out here. And, I can say that to my mom, like, hey, mom, like, she'll just say, get off your ass and do something. That's what my mom would tell me. So I kind of know that. Is that her saying that to me? No,
Yeah.
probably not. But in my mind, that's her saying it to me.
You know what's beautiful about that? It is why I miss that generation, like our grandparents, is that the world was different.
Right.
Like, how old are you, Ryan?
50 now.
I thought you were my age. You've aged well. Well,
Oh,
you even
thank you.
understand then going back. I'm going to be 42. So, you think of like being raised in the 90s or even the early 80s. That world is gone. Like
Right.
and I love that world, dude. Oh my God, I loved it. But here's the thing: it's like, do we love that world because we're reflecting back and nostalgic? Because if we went back now, would we appreciate it? You know what I mean? Or if we knew we were living in the good old days, would we appreciate it? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you don't realize how good it was. And I look back and how much fun, like, oh my God. But I like how you say, like, you try to talk, you're trying to talk to your grandfather and saying things like this, because sometimes that old school advice, you know what they're going to say. They
Right.
would not understand our world. They would not understand the complications. They would not understand social media. But you know what? They wouldn't give a shit either.
No.
It's just that good old fashioned advice, the simplicity of it.
Simple. I mean, suck it up.
Simple life. Yeah, suck it up, dude. Suck it up.
Suck it up. Get over it. Whatever you got to do. Just move on.
A very tough generation. 100%. So
Yeah.
you think about it, you're not wrong. That's absolutely the advice being given,
Right.
And it wouldn't change, even with all they've seen, and I do believe our loved ones are watching.
Right.
And trust me, the world's probably weird, but you know what? I think they've got to be very proud for us to navigate in such a wild world where you don't think about it. Us in the 80s, if we were told and we flash back to the 80s and like, guys, this is what the future's like. We're debriefing you on everything. There's no way you can fathom that. There's no way that there's like, what? So like the world's changing. And that's what I'm saying about like the dead not recognizing stuff and why they stick around some places, because it feels like home. There's going to come a point where if we are ghosts hanging around, we don't want this futuristic tech around us. We don't recognize the world. Then why would we want to stay? Right. Maybe that's when it's deciding to pass on. Like, okay, time to move on to the next, because I no longer recognize this realm of existence. I don't know, man. It's deep, and unfortunately, we won't figure that out until it's too late.
Right. I mean, we'll find out sooner or later. That's the whole key.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, a lot of people say nowadays, a lot of theories going out there with the aliens being ghosts, blah, 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 all that crap. But they're saying that spirits aren't seeing what we're seeing. They're seeing the way it was back in their time.
Yeah, I've heard all of it. Yeah.
I mean, again, I know what they're seeing. Like, that's what you're getting. Like, you don't know crap, dude. I mean,
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know, and I think there's a lot of mixed theories to that. Because I think what you're getting at is like when people say like a spirit walks through a wall because there was a doorway at one time there, so that's they're seeing the world. That would be more of a residual. But like, I don't see it's a hot topic question. I don't know. Like, there's no way to prove it. Like, it would appear that they can interact with our environment that we put together. So I would lean more towards they can only see what's on our physical realm. Because we've manipulated the same plane of existence. We both existed on the same plane of existence. We're actually kind of still there, but in different layers of it. I think, I don't know. At least to the intelligent ones, to these residual ghosts that we're not interacting with. Yeah, they're interacting with an environment that's no longer there. But to the intelligent ones, I think they see it exactly the way we put it together. That would also explain why items we have up are physically manifested. If they couldn't see that and they were seeing something else, they wouldn't affect the items we have, creating that poltergeist activity. Maybe,
no,
maybe.
Yeah, man.
I'm stretching. I don't know. Now I'm spitballing, but yeah.
But we're talking about are we going in the right direction? Now, with so many paranormal investigators out there compared to 15 years ago, now when we pass, will we know more how to communicate with the living?
Yes. Okay. So that's a great topic question. The way I look at it is getting as many people interested in this as possible, because the next great mind might be happening, right? Maybe the entire collective right now is just not smart enough. Like, I don't feel like I was supposed to be here. Let me put it this way. And it was by an accident. I was going to get into politics, international security, counterterrorism. That stuff was interesting to me, but not as interesting as this. Had I not stumbled across this at the right time, I wouldn't have invested everything. Like today, there's a mother and his son here. He's celebrating his birthday. He really wanted to come here for his birthday, right? And he's the private here tonight. And you got to think, like, maybe he just want to try it out, but maybe he will become intrigued. Maybe he is the next brilliant mind we need. So, I get this controversy. They're like, Adam, you've had influencers out that have been known fakers. I'm like, I don't know if they're faking or not. I can speculate too, maybe. But here's what I'll tell you about all these influencers that are massive in the millions and all this stuff. And I've rubbed shoulders with a lot of them. I don't care if you are fake or not, because you're getting a lot of people interested that come through the door and they're like, hey, I'm here because I saw so-and-so on YouTube. And what's funny is a lot of them, after they are in, I had a question way back in the day. I won't throw anyone under the bus because I like all these individuals off camera, even on camera. I like them. I haven't investigated them enough to be like, okay, maybe you're faking, whatever. It doesn't matter. The fan base they have brought in of this younger generation that is so enthusiastic, like they love this stuff. But there was one group one night, they were like, is so-and-so fake? We just thought we were going to get here because, chairs were going to start flying and moving and all this stuff. And I said, don't believe everything you see on YouTube. Now I said, this stuff can happen, but it's very unlikely the mathematical probability, if they film for a mere 8 hours, they got everything on the recipe book for a haunting to happen. But now that you're here and interested in this, and they kept coming back and they were learning the equipment. We will take this new generation. You got them in here through entertainment. We're going to try and teach them the best we can and allow them to evolve better, to come up with stuff, their own ideas. Let that stuff flourish. Because here's the thing. We can't talk shit on it. We can't talk shit on these influencers bringing people in, because how many people are going to say, I got into this because I watched Ghost Adventures? Yeah, a lot of people love Ghost Adventures season 1, season 2. But would you stand on a hill and defend Ghost Adventures now? No. You learned. So to all these older generation people making fun of the new generation, shut the fuck up, dude. You came in on false pretense too, but you didn't figure it out. So if you want to say like, oh, I got it here because of Ghost Hunters is shit too. I had the reboot come out here and it was the worst experience I've ever had. Grant Wilson is a fraud. He's fake, but we all grew up thinking they were like the Holy Grail. There are others. Now I can't speak. I've never met, wasn't it Jason? Is Jason the other one? Yeah. Now he seems to be level-headed, but let's talk about this. His daughter Satori has the click, click, clack, clack, A, B, C, D, click, click, clack, clack. Dude, what are the odds that your dad is Jason Hawes and you're doing this? And Jason Hawes is allegedly like, I am no bullshit. It is all straight fact. When he was asked, someone was like, what do you think about your daughter Satori and what she's doing? He answers to the degree of like, I don't know, it's their thing. You just got to see it. Fuck you, dude. Because if that was anyone else's daughter, you'd have been like, oh my God, what is this, the Victorian era with the Fox sisters? Like, what are we doing, guys? This is all science-based. But he's protecting family. Now, I respect it, Jason. If you see this, because I'm sure some gremlin will screen record this shit as they do to Grant and all of them. I respect that you're protecting family. I get it. But that's a disservice to the field. I would have a hard little talk with Satori and be like, hey, science, let's not do the Fox sister thing. Yeah. So it's, I don't know, man. I've lost, it's, what's that saying? Don't meet your heroes. You know, and trust me, I got into this because I thought Ghost Adventures was fake. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very entertaining, but I'm like, it's fake. And that's one of the other things that got me out there to do that EVP. You know, I was like, I got to see it for myself. And then you realize, yes, the shows are probably fabricated, but the phenomena is really happening. So,
yeah, but it got you to where you are now. Those fake shows got you to Madison.
Got you. So, you know, I say that like I've had all the influencers come out to film at these locations. Again, I have detected nothing in front of me. And of course, they're not going to come out and be like, yo, Adam, we fake everything. No, they're going to say that. I'm not there on the investigation with them. But I do know their fan base brings in that younger generation, which we need that younger generation. We need those new minds because that could be the next brilliant mind.
Right.
You know, we talk about stagnant ideas in the field. Gen Z is not stagnant. They are very smart kids. I run with Gen Z a lot, and they are very brilliant. They're very smart, and they should not be underestimated. You know, so just like the millennials were underestimated by the boomers. You know what I mean? Like in the game, like every generation hates the next coming in. I'm open to it, dude. I love them. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's all stepping stones. I mean, even if it's fake, not fake, it doesn't matter. Like you're bringing influence in, like we'll say Sam and Colby. Like I've never seen a Sam and Colby show in my life. Kids love Sam and Colby. My daughter watched them. They're huge. I mean, they're goofy from my understanding,
right.
But they have millions of followers. It could be two of those followers that break the plane that we're looking for.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. Since the name's been summoned, Sam and Colby, they were, I mean, we've had tons, big names. Sam and Colby's one of them. When I used to do the flashlight tours at Madison, I noticed how important Sam and Colby were to the new generation, Gen Z, getting into this. When I would do flashlights, we'd still have nights where it'd be very busy, but the demographic was like 30 and up, you know. It was older, right? Sam and Colby drops their stuff at Madison. Now, when I do flashlight tours, it is probably kids between 16, even up to 13. I think we do 13 is our minimum. 13 to 25 to 28 is the majority demographic. Crazy.
Yeah.
And that's great. I love it because that's that new energy getting in. And these kids are great. I mean, they've asked the hard questions. And I'm just like, listen, I'm not throwing anyone to the bus. I'm just saying you got to see for yourself. You got to experiment. You got to be true to yourself. Use these investigations as a reference and go out there. If you have questions about the equipment, cool. And I want to know, like, if you have ideas for new stuff, nothing's out of the realm of possibility. That's how we come up with this stuff, dude. We just like bullshit. We're like, we got this new idea for a piece of equipment. Let's try and put it together. Because there isn't like we can call the Sony department or whatever department. Like, hey, can I have your ghost hunting department? I have a question about my equipment. It doesn't exist. We are the infrastructure that creates equipment. So.
Yeah, I mean, your flashlight tours have taken off. I noticed that. It's
huge
watch
attendance.
Out videos. Yeah,
huge.
It's great.
I mean, that's yeah. I mean, it's great, and I give back appreciation. I'm trying to arm the community. One of the things I hate is I have experienced a lot of lows in this game. I know what it feels like when you first get into the paranormal and you have no money, you have no equipment, and this is a very expensive hobby. Most people don't want to help you out, or they're very subjective about the equipment. Like, hey, I like this. Oh, by the way, it's $350. You should probably try to buy it to experiment with it. Like, I can't, that's a big risk. So one of my goals, not only saving the properties, it's arming the paranormal community with as much equipment as I can. So that's why we have door prizes.
Right.
Every flashlight tour, we're giving out spirit boxes. We're giving out K2 meters, dowsing rods, and the equipment will elevate in size as we get through the year. I'm already investing in NPCD's the tripwire. That's a fucking Bugatti, dude,
Yeah,
of the paranormal.
I got two of them. I mean, I love
Yes,
them.
that's $500, buddy, that I know you had to spend right there.
Yep.
Okay, because I see price tags like boom, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's not cheap, but I want to get this stuff in people's hands. I have the financial means to do it where I can do that and still protect the building. So why not do it? That's the best thing that can happen for the community. And that's why I also came up with the loot crate. The loot crate is loaded with paranormal equipment that's only actually, and this goes to any creators out there, if you want to get your stuff into the hands of the community, maybe you should donate it to me and I'll put it in the crate. We put little QR codes on it. Let these teams experiment with the equipment. Now, everything you see in the loot crate, which is loaded with more tripwire, paranormal tripwire, Generation 2 Epic box, Phasma box, and Estes method pod, it goes on. I put the video out of this. You value all of that stuff, it's well over $1,000. And there's more stuff being added to it. I charge $100 for that to go there so I can slowly recoup on it. But that's literally 10% of the cost to play with all that equipment and be like, hey, you know what? I think this is trash, but I really like this. This is really good too, but that was trash. And that puts the power in the investor to be like, now I know how to spend my money, because if you did it the way we used to do it, you racked up a lot of debt.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of trash.
Yep.
Yes. So it's the least I can do to the community that I love. So
yeah,
and
it's
great.
I always tell new people, new groups or come groups, like what type of equipment. I'm like, just go work with another group. Go collab with another group. They're going to have equipment.
Collab with the group that's got the toys.
Yeah. Right. And you're going to see what works, what doesn't work. I wish I did that. I want to have a box full of stuff I don't use. I got a whole bunch of paperweights here. So.
Yep. There's old equipment I got in crates that's like, it's garbage.
Right.
But at that time, you get excited. I understand. And you see a few people using it once in a while, and it's like, well, that's going to be awesome, or it's not field tested. I think the community falls into this trap a lot. Like, a new tool comes out and everybody just assumes it's got to be great. Like you've got the dead bell. There's a lot of people that like love the dead bell. We need to understand the mechanics behind the dead bell, because I'm not going to quote on it, because I was just talking to Lauren Helkinson. I say Van Helsing. I can never say her last name right. She creates a lot of her own equipment, but we were talking about the dynamics of the dead bell and how it works. And it's got a magnetometer possibly in it. Again, don't quote me on that. We're just talking about like understanding how this equipment works. Everything sounds amazing when you're like, oh, new thing. If the bell goes off, Ghost is manipulating it. Dude, over half the community is going to jump on that, because new tool for the arsenal, new tool to use while filming. But is it working? Is it working correctly? Now, again, some people don't give a shit, and that's fine. If you just want a lot of things that go beepy, beepy and ding, 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 or play music, awesome. You have free will. You have, you can play the game that way. But I think it's better to test it out. Like, I don't buy equipment anymore until it's been used a lot. Like, it's been battle tested. Like, I love the SB7.
Right.
You can't really. Now, again, it's all subjective, because if you're doing the Estes method, which again was stolen from the Gainesfield experiment, it's all subjective. If we take that recording and you're under Estes and I'm under Estes, but we have a splitter to the SB7, right? We may not say the same things. We assume that there is stuff talking in the white noise, 100%. Some of it's very, very relevant. Some of it's off the wall, but it's subjective to the user, because there's so many things being said. you and I could hear it at the same time, and I pick a different word that I'm hearing, that you pick a different word, and that completely hijacks that Estes method, because now they're hearing that word from you and then hearing that word from me. And if we were in the multiverse in our own way, it would be a whole different conversation because of one word slip. It's why it's not the greatest thing, but it's also the greatest thing, you know?
Right. I mean, I kind of combined mine. So I got tripwire, recorder, spirit box. That's pretty much all I investigate with now. All the other stuff, not too worried about. So
yeah,
those are the
keep it simple.
things.
Keep it simple, man.
I mean, you can throw cat balls in there if you want. I mean, they're cheap, they're easy.
It's easy. I've seen those things manipulated. I talked a lot of shit on. I did.
Yeah.
I was like, we've hit a new low. We're back in the archaic times. But I've seen them easily manipulated. Like, I've seen those things move. Like, they're moved. And they do go off on command sometimes. Is it just sheer luck, sheer timing, sheer coincidence? Always. You can't take that out of the realm of speculation.
Right.
But it's an easy tool. Right. It's an easy beginner tool until you graduate up to more stuff. Or some people just like it too. And I'm not against it. I don't talk shit anymore. I'm thinking it's a really interesting tool to use as a trigger, you know.
Right. But you can't use that. That's not the say all. Just because cat ball goes out doesn't mean there's a spirit there.
Exactly. You know, exactly. And I like your idea, like, and that is the way it should be done, of using multiple pieces of equipment in one, because if you can get different pieces coinciding around the same time, that's pretty solid. But to put all of your faith into one piece of equipment, it's like why I get back to the Sarah controversy. I want to know what equipment you were using. Was it a REM pod that went off when you asked if it was a girl? And how fast were you asking the questions? You know what I mean? Like, you listen to some people when you're in a group setting, how quickly, and I know why they do this. If you watch any television show, the way it's edited to be fast, I get it. And I can tell the people that learn ghost hunting through television, they'll be like, hey, what's your name? How old are you? How many spirits are here? It's literally the sequence of how fast it's going. It's like, dude, I can't even answer some of that stuff that fast. And it's like, they do that. It's like, you have to give spirits time to answer. I know it's going to seem boring. It's like being on a fishing trip and like sitting there for a second. Wait a good minute and a half. Turn your ADHD off, you son of a bitch. Turn it off. Focus for one time in your life. When you ask a question, wait, and just like wait a minute and a half. I know it's going to seem awkward and it's not fun, but that gives it like more validity that hit was for that question. You know,
yeah, I mean,
especially with REM pods. You know.
All of them. I mean, there's sometimes I'll just sit there and not say anything for 20, 25 minutes and just listen.
It, man.
That's what you got to do. I mean, Trans-Allegheny, so yeah, everybody wants to go to Hotspots Trans-Allegheny. I love just sitting in a dark hallway.
Dude, go anywhere, right? Like, go anywhere. You're going to have a great time anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, so, all right, well, anything else you want to hit tonight? I mean, we can keep going on rabbit holes. I mean, it's never going to stop there. I know that much.
I feel pretty good about the level of shit talking was at a minimum. The knowledge.
Yeah, we didn't shit talk anybody personally.
We didn't attack the community. We only attacked some of the known figures, which is always good. I don't want to get any marks on your channel here for you. You've been an amazing host.
Thank you.
I think you're an amazing asset to the community. It's always good to talk to people that are enthusiastic, charged, and stuff like yourself. And I had a great time for the last 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's been there. Yeah, so paranormal debate coming up. I'm excited for that. A lot of good guests coming up. Maybe I'll try to get Adam and some demonologists on, and I'll be the moderator. And they can debate it out on my show sometime.
Dude, and let's just, if we do this, I don't give a shit anymore. I really don't. I think we tiptoe around a lot of subjects.
Yes.
But let's do it. Let's fucking gloves off, man. And you know what I'll say to people, like I said, if you want to debate me, it does not mean that you're going to get banned from any locations. You know, some people get butthurt. I feel like there's some like investigators, if they were owners, they would gatekeep it. If you don't think the way I do, you can't come into my little demon house. Like, shut the fuck up. I'll even sign a contract saying like, we will be friends after this. Let's get dirty. Let's get hard. Let's talk about the hard topics. And I think a lot of the time, maybe we're going to align with people, you know, and I'm not saying me personally, but I think do bring people in and tell them, take the gloves off, quit being a bunch of little Again, trying to keep this PG.
PG.
Be the way you want to be. Everyone talks shit when they're alone of what they talk about. You know how you talk alone with your friends in little back rooms and stuff, and how you're all tough and shit? Bring that to the screen. Bring it to the screen and let's do it, because that's great shit. Like, no one cares how you feel when we're talking in person. Like, I wouldn't say this to everybody, but this is how I feel. Then quit being a bitch about it. Get out here. Actually be something. You know, we talk about people wanting agendas and be someone in the game. That's speaking your opinion and being you and how you feel is the best way to do it. But if you want to hide in the shadows and just, you know, slide with your friends talking shit, that's fine. You can exist that way, but I think the timer's up. I think the great debates are on. I think you're onto something great, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's old school. We argue, we debate, put the gloves on, we shake hands, hug it out after.
Shake hands
That's
it
what it's
over,
all
dude.
about.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
I mean, just like we did in football and basketball, we fought. You know.
Well, you know what's funny about in our generation, all generations, like, I love with dudes. You get into a fist fight. There's so many of my friends, like, we would be in a fist fight, dude. Like,
right.
beating the shit out of each other. And then after that, you guys are like best friends. You know what I mean? Like, those guys are pretty simple. You know what I mean? I think men respect each other when you try to draw that out. If you're gonna walk the line casually, you will get a lack of respect for that. But if you own up on business and believe what you're talking about, I'll tell you what, you'll get respect from me. I don't care if you are complete polar opposites, but if you stand on that business and you believe in it, you got my respect. So I think that's where we're going with the game. So,
all right. Well, again,
all right,
thanks,
dude.
Adam. Thanks for jumping on. I'm sure I'll see you. I mean, you're 10 minutes down the road from me, so
hell yeah, dude.
I appreciate it. Everybody that jumped on. Sorry I didn't get to a lot of your questions. We were just chatting, so maybe next time. Thanks again. We'll see you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.